Howdy folks, Sapper here, aka Sean, and we're bringing you Next War World War III. I have just completed the movement segment of the basic movement and combat segment. So basically the North Koreans have moved. Again, it takes a while because there's a lot of units and trying to figure out where you want to place things, pre-place things so that they can react or whatever. They can be in the right position later on is always difficult. So you can kind of see over here where we have, the important things also are trying to get your artillery and your headquarters in places where they can be effective as well. So there you have it. This right here, this was an infiltration. So I infiltrated. I think they started there. I don't know. They started here. But anyway, they infiltrated through and behind. So yeah, it's going to be risky, but I wanted to be able to get more guys basically on that hex. So yeah, we successfully infiltrated. Wasn't too hard. You rolled lower than your efficiency, and the terrain gives you modifiers. Of course, the nastier the terrain, the easier it is to infiltrate. So trying to infiltrate through flat, it's kind of one of those common sense things where if it's open terrain, it's harder to sneak through than it is if you're, trying to sneak through the mountains or you're trying to sneak through the forest or something like that. So got a bunch of units down here. We're getting ready to start to counteract the U.S. 2nd Infantry Division moving forward. And then down here, we've got a lot more going on. Pretty sure we infiltrated through here as well. So actually, I never rolled for that. So let me go ahead and do that. There was something I thought that infiltration automatically happened on the first turn. It only automatically happens if they infiltrate through a tunnel. So there was no tunnel there, so let me roll that real quick and see. Their chances should be pretty good because that is they're infiltrating through the mountains. So let me do that real quick. All right, so these guys failed. So basically to infiltrate through mountains is a -2 to the die roll. So basically an 8 or lower is success. And of course I rolled a 9. So they stay in their starting hex, which I don't remember which one it was. Well, those guys are overstacked. I didn't even notice that. I definitely don't want to do that. So I don't remember where they were, but they have a strike 1 marker on them now. Never ceases to amaze me when you have almost a guaranteed roll and you still fail it. So let's look. So that is all right. So we'll move him here. Sometimes forceps are worse than just using your big fat fingers. They're going to be overstacked there, which is going to be the problem. I don't want to move two. Actually, let's do this. See, here we go. So we will do that. And then that guy will go in there. And that guy will go there. And that guy will go there. And those guys will go there. So, yep. Guaranteed success. Nope. Not going to happen. Then I'm going to try air mobile here and an amphibious landing also here. So I have to do ADF. It's going to be normal ADF because that port's considered an installation. Luckily, their ADF is terrible. So advanced detection. So detection is a 3. Well, let's see if we can. I'm pretty sure we can fail this too. So I think that's -2 because 2 hexes within the same lane areas detecting player's headquarters. I think installation counts as well. And then it is an air mobile movement. So yeah, we definitely, because they all originated up there, so they definitely passed over that stuff. So we'll say it's a -2, and that's a 9, so that is not detected. So what happens here is if you look at the note, all transport missions and non-standoff strike missions undergo AAA. If detected, the AAA occurs before the mission, otherwise it occurs after. So basically what happens, if I get an X result, I'll lose an air mobile point later on, but it's not going to actually affect the mission. So AAA is a 2. Looks like a -1 to that roll. Actually, no, hold on. That is just a -1. So that is a 2 on the 2. So it's a +2. I don't think, yeah, +2 doesn't. Yeah, we're not going to lose. You have to get an X, I think. So no air mobile point was lost. So these guys successfully landed. And then I just need, I think the amphibious assault happens in the combat phase, and we'll end up putting a beachhead there. So it was a risky move. I debated, I kind of wanted that port over there, but then I kind of decided against it because if I land here, there's enough stuff here to where they could kind of move over that way. But here, there's not really a lot going on. There's not a lot of units here, so basically they're going to have to make a decision. Do I start taking these units here and rushing that way? Now, of course, reinforcements will probably start appearing down here, but they'll end up funneling here and being stopped. So that's kind of why I decided here. I also debated about doing something over there as well, but this one kind of stuck out in my head. So there you have it. Oh, you know what I got to do? I got to do movement over there as well. I forgot about that. So all the movement for here has been done for Korea. Now we got to do movement for Taiwan and the naval display. All right, so I did conduct the air mobile movement. I think, well, yeah, we already showed that on the video. I'm losing my mind. So they can't advance after combat, which there wasn't really any. And then these Marines, there's no units there, so everybody could advance into that hex. So these guys are there, and you put them under a clearing marker. So that is that. Now I'll go ahead and straighten all this out, and then I'll go over to there. All right, so the movement phase on the Taiwan map is significantly easier just because there's not nearly as much going on. The units are much fewer. So let me see here. So these amps each had, so we had the 124th Brigade, the 125th Brigade, and the 1st Brigade. All 3 of these were on these amps. They disembarked and then moved over here. These guys that were kind of reduced, they backed off the line. And then, of course, the 124th moved here to kind of bolster this up. I don't like these forceps. I'm going to have to get another pair. All right, so that was that. Get in there. This MSU moved to stack with the other MSU, which are going to end up combining, I believe. It might be during the reorg phase. It's either the reorg or the reinforcement phase. We'll end up combining to make a supply depot. I use sea transport. You can only unload 2 points via sea transport per turn at a beachhead. So I brought over this artillery. I debated doing a headquarters, but I decided to go with the artillery first. And let's see, I didn't do anything over there because I think most of the C units are where I want them to be, and I moved an amp back to the PRC holding box so that I can start getting the rest of the 73rd Group Army into Taiwan. Oh, that's why that guy's a little bit better. So yeah, he needs, I think what we'll do is on these 2 amps, we probably prioritize getting these 2. Because if you look, we've got a headquarters, which is important, and that infantry brigade is a 6.5, where these are 4.4s. So yeah, I think I'll get these 2 guys on the next amp. So that is movement. So the next thing will be combat. So I'll go ahead and resolve some combats here since I happen to be sitting here. Then I'll move over to Korea. Okay, I've tallied up all the DRMs. I threw in air support for both sides because, well, the Taiwan, Republic of China, doesn't want to lose. There's an installation there, and there's a city, so they really don't want to lose that. So we threw in air support. This side, so Taiwan was intercepted. They received SAM fire. This guy was the only one that was affected by it, so it's a +2. So basically, if you look at it, so his combat support is a 2 DRM, +2 DRM. So with the SAM fire being +2, it basically evens out. So this guy doesn't do anything. So we have just a +2, and then these were, there we go. Those are -3s. So total DRMs are going to be -7 on the 1.5 to 1 table, which is right here. So let's go ahead and roll. So -7. So that's the best result we get. So -3 and a retreat. So 3 step losses. That's going to hurt. Let's see what we've got. So can't see that. So these guys all go back to the flown box. So let's see. So lead unit. So he'll take 1, 2, and 3. So basically all 3 of those. And now we have to retreat 2. What's that? Okay, that's motorized. So we'll go 1. Actually, we have to retreat 2, I'm sorry. So we'll go 1, 2. Yeah, we'll do that. All right. And now the Chinese can just basically advance after combat. I think I get to add, since I captured this supply depot, I'll have to look and see what happens with that. But those guys will advance after combat. They're going to go under a clearing marker now. And I just need to find, I'm pretty sure I get some supply points for capturing a supply depot. All right, so I did look it up. So supply depots eliminated in combat give the eliminating player, the attacking player, 1 supply point. And what I did not take into account was the supply depot added 2 defense strength. After looking at it, I looked at my numbers and everything. It wouldn't have mattered, that extra 2 defensive points. It would have been 19 to 14, so it would have been it would have changed the column shift by 1. Let's look. So with the roll that I got, it would have been 2 step losses in a retreat. So instead of 3 step losses, so we will go ahead and do that. There we go. In the interest of fairness and everything. So I will give the Chinese 1 extra supply point for eliminating that supply depot. And I think we can go ahead and put these back to the flown box. And these guys can go to the flown box. And that's all done. All right, now I think that's it, man, because this is the only other spot that I could conceivably do an attack. So that's flat, so that is 5 factors against 8 factors. Nah, I don't see that going well. No point in doing that. Yeah, I think we're done with combat. The Chinese are done with combat over here in Taiwan. All right, so our first combat, we've got some results. I didn't commit any air units. Both sides are pretty low, so I think I will save the majority of the air stuff for up in that area right there. But anyway, we got a really good result. These 2 stacks attacked these guys that were right there, and we got a 2-step losses and a retreat. So luckily both of these units were full strength. They are no longer, but they have retreated, and the North Koreans have advanced. So that'll be it for right here, because this guy's not going to be... Well, let's look. 2, 7... Oh, so that's 15? That's in mountain terrain. Yeah, I'll probably just leave that one alone. That's going to be tough. Tough to get that, but I will definitely... We'll move up to here so we can see what happens there, because that tunnel will make a difference. All right, I've just tallied up everything. So we are going to be... Where are we at? We're on the 8 column, and it's going to be a -3. So that is a 3, which equals 1. You can't see that from there. I can see it. 1, 1, and a retreat. All right, let's see here. All right, lead unit. I hate to do that on one of those. Are these? Let me look at these real quick. Yeah, we're going to do that. And then you will take 1. And that's Highland Woods. I don't think... Nope, Highland Woods. Units defending in this terrain or in cities or forts may voluntarily ignore retreat results on the CRT by passing an ER check. If you fail, I don't know what happens. You need to roll a 4 or lower. Let me look and see what happens if you fail. All right, so I will do that. So if you fail the check, you can take an additional step loss or just retreat. So we'll go ahead. We need to roll a 4 or lower. So that is an 8. So these guys are going to fail and then retreat. We only have to retreat 1. We'll go there. These guys, I use these guys to support the attack, so they're a half. But when you combine them, it equals 1. They did successfully evade ADF, so they gave a total of a whole -1, but it mattered a little bit. So, all right, what do we got? We've got, and then we will go ahead and advance after combat. Making ground slowly but surely. Once we get out of this DMZ hexes, I think it'll be a little bit easier. Probably not a lot easier, but it will be a little bit easier. And now we will go up to this area. Right here is probably going to be a good one. All right, we have an interesting development going on right here. So here, and that hex is where we are attacking. We're attacking from 3 different hexes. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea has decided to use chemical weapons because that efficiency 7 is humongous. So chemical weapons reduce the efficiency of every unit in that hex by 3. If it was all U.S. units, it would only be 2. But there happens to be a U.S. unit and a South Korean unit, so -3. We've also, both sides have decided to commit air. So the Americans are like, we're going to throw in an A-10. You want to throw some chemical weapons at us? We're going to throw in some A-10 Warthog support. The North Koreans threw in this Su-25. It was not detected. However, the A-10 Warthog was detected. And the North Koreans, as far as air superiority only has one air-to-air combat fighters. So the A-10 is also, if you look at it, is also a 1. So, and none of them are standoff. So we are basically having a dogfight between an A-10 Warthog and 2 F5s. So it's pretty much an even fight, other than the fact that the Warthog is being double teamed. So this is going to be interesting. All right, so here we go. So we are in dogfight. So the combat differential is we're on the 0. So it goes down to, we have pilot skill and overcast are the only things that, that's a combat support aircraft firing. So the Warthog will have the overcast and the strike going against it. And the, are they F5s? Yeah, those are F5s. So the pilot rating is the difference, right? So the Warthog has a pilot rating of -2, and the F5s have a pilot rating of 0. So the Warthog is going to be overall +1. So what we will do is the first combat, it's all simultaneous, but the one F5 is free because the A-10 can only engage one of them. So we're going to engage one of them. So the blue die is America, and the red die is Korea. There's a +1 to the blue die. So this is amazing. So that turns into a 2. A 6 is nothing because there was no pilot skill involved. And then the Warthog manages to abort the first guy here. So he goes to the aborted box. And now the other one basically just gets a free attack. So it is going to be overcast. So there's a +1 to his die roll. And that is a 9, which is nothing. So the Warthog has managed to fight off the Chinese attack. Now, obviously the only reason that happened is because they didn't have better planes. But, now the Warthog has to undergo ADF. So we're going to do, let's see here. We have SAM and AAA. So the SAM is 9. So he's probably not going to survive the SAM. And then we also have AAA, which is a 3. So yeah, this isn't going to go well. So the SAM is 9. Let me see. We do have -1. Plus it's overcast for 0. All right, so there is no DRM for that, so we'll roll. That is a 9. That's about the best result that we can have. Now we will do the AAA. +2 because it's overcast, and it looks like that's it. So +2 to the AAA die roll. And that is a 6. So that is a +1 result. So this pilot in this A-10 is going to go down in history for making it through all that. So actually that +1 is a -1 to the combat support number. So the combat support number is a 4. Now it turns into a 3. This plane is also a 3. So basically, these two planes equal out. So they flew their missions and the DRMs even out. So after all the DRMs and everything else, let's go ahead and go to our chart. So I'm on this column because we are on Highlands. So we managed to do, let's see, it was 38 to 18, which is a 1.5. Is it 1.5? No, that's 2 to 1. So we're on the 2 to 1 in Highlands right here. Because it's a fortified hex, we go 2 over. Surprise, we go back over 2. The difference in efficiency ratings is 6 to 4, so we get +2 for the efficiency. And then we also commit artillery, so we are right here in this column. And then all the DRMs, including all that close air support that didn't really work, we have a -1 DRM. So that was crazy right there. So let's see what we get. -1 to all of this. So that is a 5, which turns into a 4. So that is 1 and a retreat for the Allies. Well, the lead unit was 2nd Brigade, 2nd Infantry Division. So you will take a step loss, and we can... That's Highland. So we can try to ignore the retreat results. Your efficiency is a 3 now because of the chemical weapons. So we'll go ahead and attempt to ignore that. And that's a 6, so that failed. So we just retreat. I mean, that's as simple as that is. So we will retreat 1 hex. We'll go back 1 right there. These chemical weapons stay in place until the reorganization phase. So they will affect anybody who moves in there. Well, guess what? We have to advance after combat. So we will go there. Actually, let me put that chemical weapons support on top so that I remember it's there. So that was crazy. That A-10 dogfight was awesome. I can just imagine that in my head in real life. This guy, he's standoff. So you know what? I have to roll. Even though he wasn't detected, non-standoff attacks always undergo ADF fire. So I have to do the ADF for that. They weren't detected. So basically, I'm going to roll for the AAA fire. And honestly, I don't think... So that's AAA. That's within 2 of a headquarters. So that will be AAA at the 2 level. It's not local. There's nothing that can happen. So if we look at it here, right? So the only thing that would happen is an A result, I think, versus air helicopter train. Okay, so an A result would be, it wouldn't do anything. So the only thing we could hope to happen would be like a step loss result, which we cannot get because it is overcast. So you get +2. So the worst I could roll is a 2. So nothing happens there. But that was a really cool. That was a cool fight. Like I did not expect that to happen. All right, so I'm going to rotate those to remind myself that that was the last guy that, or actually, let me do this. I'm going to put that little cube there to remind myself that those were the last guys to attack. And I'm going to put that yellow arrow there to remind myself that we are working our way up. Right, where am I at? I'm right here. I'm going to attack from here, here, and here. These 3 hexes, they're all across river, so everybody was halved, which kind of sucks. Ended up being 26 to 4. They threw in this headquarters, so it's 26 to 8, which is 3 to 1. Looks like we got a total of -1 die roll modifier. I don't know. Do I want to throw in? I've only got 2 planes I can throw into that, which really stinks. I mean, the chances of them being attacked, I mean, these guys, it's pretty slim. I don't think I'm going to defend that. I think I'm going to, well, not defend it. I'm not going to use air power. Wait a minute. I mean, we're going to be on the 11 column, which is pretty dang good. So, you know what? We're not going to go ahead. We have a -1, so that's a 4. So that is 1 step loss. No retreat. That's not what I wanted. I definitely did want them to retreat. Oh, look at that. That is a 1-step unit, so that's just as good. And then we're going to move that big boy. That's the guy that I wanted in there. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. I wanted that big boy in there. So we'll move that. We did not use chemical weapons for that fight either, so that's definitely... Let's do this. And the other thing that helped that fight out is there's no longer fortifications there, so we didn't have to worry about those negative column shifts. So that really worked out. So we are done up to here. I think that brigade loss isn't as big of a victory point as the divisions. I think that's probably only a 1 victory point thing. Let's look. A brigade or a battalion is only 1 victory point. So we get, the North Koreans get a victory point. The South Koreans got 3 victory points because the North used the 1 instance of chemical weapons. So as long as the South does not respond with chemical weapons, and that's an optional rule, by the way, because they are, the rule book says that the South Koreans don't really have any known stockpiles, so we're just going hypothetical saying they were hiding this stuff. So as long as the South Koreans don't respond with chemical weapons, then every time the North Koreans use them, they get 3 victory points. So we got 3 quote-unquote easy victory points, I guess, for that, even though we're getting our butts kicked right now, so it's really not that big of a deal. All right, let me continue on with the combats and see where else we're going. This spot right here looks kind of juicy, so we'll see what our odds are going to be. All right, next spot is right here. So we are attacking it from here, 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 and here. It ended up being 28-8. We did throw in a headquarters here. 3-to-1 odds. 3-to-1 odds, all right. And then ends up being, so that's Highland, I believe. So it ends up being on the 10 column at 3-to-1 odds. A total of -1 DRM. Both sides threw some air support in there. So the South Koreans threw that. North Koreans threw both of those in there. These guys were detected. Oh, I got to do SAM fire yet. I did not do that. So they threw in a couple of their crappy planes here. One of them he managed to abort one of them, and the other one was unable to score any hits. These guys managed to fly in undetected, so there'll be another -2. But we have to see what the SAM and AAA are, because these 2 planes might just negate that plane as far as DRMs go. But we have to do AAA. AAA and SAM. So SAM is a 9. That's not going to be good. And the AAA is a 3. So that was early detected. So the SAM obviously will be the red. The AAA will be the blue. Well, that plane's probably getting hit. Knocked out of the sky. So the AAA is a +1. The 1 means, what is it? 1 is an X. Air unit can take a step loss and continue the mission. So we'll take a step loss. But the SAM result was also a 4, or excuse me, not the SAM, the AAA result. So nothing happened there. Actually, let's look. Overcast is +1. So that ended up being a 2. So we got an A result. Air unit aborts. Owning player may press on, or it can take, let's, 5-9 gets it a +2. Nope, we're just going to abort. So we'll simply abort this mission. All right. So the Koreans, the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea is going to get a -3 to the DRM on that attack. The reason the South Koreans decided to throw in air support right here is if we could survive this, this guy will be isolated basically. So they'll lose that unit. So let's see, we got a -3 right here on this column. So that is a 1. That's the best you can get. So it is 3 and a retreat. Well, that is only a 2-step unit at the... Nope, that was only a 1-step unit. So that guy is gone. So that is another victory point for the DPRK. And this guy manages to survive. Now, we can always move him back here because that would kind of be considered an advance after combat. I mean, we will move guys across here, but he'll be out here all by himself. I think what I'll probably do, as much as I hate to kind of move back. Okay, we'll move. Get 4 steps in there. What's underneath here? Yeah, we'll get the armor. We'll get this guy. And then that guy will go back, and then this guy, oops, that guy, that 8-6, he will also go in there. That's 4 steps in there. Of course, he has the strike marker on him. We do have an airfield. I believe that's an additional victory point. Yeah, capturing an airfield is +1. You don't have to clear an airfield. You have to clear an installation, but you don't have to clear an airfield. So let's go ahead and... Oh, dang it, there we go. So that goes there. There we go. Boom. So I'll give myself another +1. And am I going to do... I don't think... Well, that might be... That's 16 defense. That's 16 attack. And then these guys would be halved across here. So that's 3, 6, 9. So that'd be 25 to 16. It'd be like 1.5 to 1 odds. That's tough. Probably not good. I think, I mean, I could use chemical weapons there. I mean, I've already used them once. That might not be a bad place to use another. Oh, these guys go back to the flown box. So even though the DPRKs get some crappy air units, they've kind of been useful for the simple fact that this right here exists. If this detection track wasn't so low, then it'd be a different story for those cruddy air units. But the fact that we have air superiority and we have a bunch of those little nonsense units, they've actually worked. They've kind of helped out. Do I do it? Do I do chem there? Because that's really the only way that it's going to be decent, I think, is if I use chem on that spot. I don't know if I want to do that. It'll get me another little bit of a foothold. I've already got a decent foothold because we got the river right here. So I've got a pretty decent foothold. I think I'll wait because I have this hex that I can attack from, this hex and this hex. Maybe during the elite combat or the exploitation might be. Of course, those are fortifications. Yeah, because that's 2 column shifts to the left for exploitation, and another 2 column shifts because of the fortifications. So that's 4 to the left. That's not good at all. That's definitely a humongous. Actually, you know what? I can't do that anyway right there because these guys attacked. Yeah, so I'm pretty much done. That is it for the. That'll be it for the North Korean combat segment. So this is probably a good spot to wrap this up, and then we'll get back with you with some more video.